to make these Superduo and seed bead bracelets. This is a 7.5-inch bracelet, and we use 20 Superduos and number 8 seed beads. This is a 7-inch bracelet, so you'll only need 19 of the Superduos. And this is an ankle bracelet, and for this I used number 6 beads in the center as opposed to number 8. Now if you want to do this, you want to use number 6, you'll have to add another number 8 bead around the outside, and I'll show you when we come around the outside how you would do that. This one also has a lobster claw clasp with a couple of rings on it, so it can make it somewhat adjustable. So you have your options with what kind of clasp you want to put on it. In addition to the Superduos and the number 8 beads, we're going to start with 8-pound Fireline. You need about an arm's worth of Fireline and 2 beading needles. I'm using number 12 beading needles. You put the needles on either end of the thread, and when you put them on the thread, you want to bring the tails down and check to make sure the tails are about the same length, because you don't want to end up, we're going to make both sides at the same time, so you don't want to end up short on one side. So to start, the first thing we're going to do is put a Superduo and use the needles for both sides and put the Superduo on the thread. And we're going to bring that all the way down and find the center. So we're going to start at the center. Next, we're going to pick up one blue bead. These blue beads are going to be my outside. So the blue beads are going to be the outside bead, and these darker purple ones are going to be my inside. So I'm picking up one blue with each needle, and then with the one needle I'm picking up a dark one. Now if you're right-handed, it's probably going to be easier to pick that one up with your right hand. And then we put the other needle through. It doesn't matter which hand you use, but you put the other needle through the center bead and you pull through. And you pull this all the way down, and you want to make sure that it sits. I want to make sure that this is, okay, this is even. So we'll pull this down, and that's what we have. Next, we're going to pick up 2 blue, and we're going to pick up another Superduo. And we want to get the needle through both sides, and it looks like this. And we're going to repeat. So we're going to pick up a blue, another, and then the center bead, and then we're going to go through the center bead and pull this all the way down. Make sure the thread doesn't get twisted. And the next one we're going to pick up this one, the blue, and another, and then we pick up a Superduo. And we're going to follow this pattern all along until you have either 19 or 20 beads, depending upon the length of the bracelet. I've completed putting on my 19th Superduo, so now I'm going to finish the end, and we're going to work our way back down, adding the outer beads. So I'm going to pick up a blue and a blue, and I want to pick up another purple. These are kind of a rainbow, so I want to keep them about consistent. All right, so pick up this one, and I'm going to go through the purple and come down. So you should be ending with the center color bead. Now we're going to take one of the needles, so I'm going to start with the one that's coming out here. I'll start with this one that's coming out on the top, and we want to go back through the bead, the Superduo, and one more bead. So we're going to finish this off, and we're going to pick up another bead and go through the next bead, the Superduo, and the next bead. I'm going to pull this to tighten this a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing again. We go through a bead, a Superduo, and a bead, and we're going to do this until we go all the way down to the bottom of the bracelet. I've completed going down this one side, so now I want to go back, pick up my other needle and thread, and I want to go back down the other side. So I'm going to go through the bead and the Superduo and the bead once again, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick up a bead and go through the bead, Superduo, and bead. And then I'm going to pick up another bead. And you don't want to be pulling these on either side too tightly, because you do want them to be even. So see how when I pulled that, now it's nice and straight. If I pull too hard on one side, it's going to lean to one side. So you're going to see the beads tugged tighter on one side. So that's what it should look like. And I'll come back when I get to the end. So when you've finished, you should have your rows completed both on the top and the bottom. You'll be coming out of the Superduo. Now we have to add the end like we did over here. So we're going to pick up a blue bead, another blue one. We're going to get a purple one. We'll go through, and we're going to bring these down. Now we're going to finish this off, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to start going back to finish off. We're going to add rings to the end and go through these beads. They're large enough to get a ring through on either side. So I'm going to finish this by going through the beads that we did before. And I'll do a little knot to tighten it. And I'll go through a couple more. I'm going to do that again with the little knot. Tighten. Do one more. Come through. And just weave through these beads. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to flip this over. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go down the two beads. Doesn't really matter where you put the little knot. I like to do this because I'm making a long lead thread to go down anyway, but then by doing these little single knots, they don't show, but they're less likely to unravel. Oop. What happened there? No, just got stuck. Okay, I have to rethread my needle. Just want you to know I can't do it that fast when I'm not on camera. Generally, when I have to rethread the needle, it takes me a lot longer. All right, so I came down the same. I'm going to get my scissors now. So we've completed the bead portion, and I'm going to show you how to do the rings after this. Okay, so this is the bead portion. And I'm going to put these beads away and I'll be right back. Now I'm going to use the same clasp as I used on this bracelet, and I'm going to have 4 rings before, for each, 2 for each end, before I put the clasp on. And the reason I need the additional ring is these are closed clasps, and the bead we're going to put it through is also closed. So if I were to put only one on and then put this clasp on, it wouldn't be lying flat like this. It would actually be lying sideways. So when you wore it on your wrist, the clasp would not lay flat. It would always try to twist sideways. So I've done the one side. I've done this side already. I've put it through the bead, added the other one, and done the end. So now we're going to put the larger side on. So I start, and I've opened up my rings. So I start by putting one ring, this one's open a little more, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to put it through my bead. I'd be better off using these. Put it through the bead, and now I'm going to put, I'll close it. Since this is already open, we'll close it. So now we'll close. Unfortunately, you have to open both. Now I'm using a 20 gauge 5mm outside diameter jump ring. So now we're going to put the second one on. So I'm going to pick up the second jump ring. I'm going to put it through, and now I have to add this in the proper direction. So you want to make sure that your bracelet is straight and your clasp is coming out. And a lot of times I find it easier to just add the clasp. In fact, let's do that before we put that on. I find it easier to just add the clasp this way. So that's the right side up. We're actually looking at it upside down at the moment. So I'm going to pick up my jump ring, and I'm going to bring this up, make sure that there are no twists along here, and then I can drop the clasp onto the jump ring and then tighten. And that makes sure that the clasp will lay flat and that you don't have any twists in the actual bracelet. If you'd enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.